overnight success is like a huge meme. Every single time that I look in, like I think that someone has overnight success, and I constantly do it. I'm like, okay, this person has overnight success. I go in and I see the years of work that was put into it. Do you think most streamers got their success through a nice game and became lazy when they had to become their online personas and influencers? No, I think they were lazy to begin with, and most streamers got successful from chance. If you look at most streamers on the platform that are successful in the top 0.1%, they're all older streamers, right? It's really hard to put in the work because if you want to be a successful streamer now, at a bare minimum, you have to stream consistently, and that alone is very hard. I think the reason why I have so much trouble going to bed and waking up is because I never worked a legitimate, well, I only worked like 2 legitimate jobs. And then by legitimate, I mean like I was working for someone else, and I was very young when I did it. And even then I like skirted the system. Like I worked for a Starbucks once. I don't think I've ever told that on stream. I worked for Starbucks once. I was very young. And I just didn't take, I was really, really bad at authority. This is not like a brag. This is like actually like a really bad thing. It's like fucked me over a lot of times in life. So like, for example, I had my manager at Starbucks and they're like, yeah, so like we have 2 shifts. We have the opening shift and the closing shift. The closing shift starts at 2 p.m. and the morning shift starts at like 4 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just not going to do that morning shift. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, if you schedule me, I just won't be there. And they're like, I don't know how to deal with that. And I'm like, well, I don't know either, but that's what's happening next. And they're like, okay. And then he just scheduled me for the afternoon shift forever. I didn't get fired. It was amazing. The guy was awesome. Also, he did options trading. So he talked to me about options trading. I couldn't believe that shit worked. Yeah. So, okay, we talk a lot about career development on this stream. This is not something that I would recommend that you do. I don't know why this worked. I think I just literally was like an obstinate kid that just didn't give a fuck. But I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to show up for that. And I was deadly serious. I would not show up to 4 a.m. for my shift. I just wouldn't do that. This is not a thing I would do. And then the other one I had was I was a Hyatt concierge, and that job sucked, but I just didn't go in the mornings either. And so I think I've just never been used to waking up. And like in college, this actually fucked me over pretty bad, come to think of it. In college, I scheduled all of my classes like for the afternoons. I've just done everything I can possibly do throughout my life to not get up early. But then I realized that that's a thing that actually a lot of people who don't have jobs do. You know, people that don't have like a semblance of like self-reliance and like can actually wake up and go to a job, like good people, unlike me. The streamers are the same way. So if you look at Twitch, most interestingly, do you guys know the best time to stream on Twitch? I mean, just statistically, right? It's starting at 6 in the morning, PST, and then it goes till 12 p.m. PST. And then after 12 p.m., it drops off. So here's why. It's not because, okay, so it's 2 reasons. EU bros are peaking at about 6 to 9 p.m. They're getting off work and they're 6 to 9 a.m. PST. Yeah. And they're getting off work. Then America wakes up and they're like, fuck, God damn it. I got to go to work again. Look at it's 10 a.m. So now you're on their slot and they're like, yeah, I'm a software engineer with 3 monitors. One of them is going to be Devin Nash, right? Good choice. So that's that covered. Then Asia wakes up around like 11-ish and then they check it out. So you get that really good cross section at like 6 to 12 p.m. But there's a more important concept, which is that no fucking streamers get up for it. So check this out, right? It's awesome. If you're a broadcaster and you're not full-time, you're probably doing something else from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. because you probably have to work. If you're a broadcaster and you are full-time, you're definitely lazy as fuck and you're not getting up that early. So the lowest amount of streamers are on and the highest amount of viewers are on proportionally. So it's great. It's actually amazing. And that's the best time to stream. So if I was really, really like galaxy fucking brain, I would be streaming at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. PST. Then I would go till 12 p.m. and then I would be done. And if you are even a small streamer and you can do that, then you would even grow in this ecosystem. And so we're running a lot of tests at Nerd Fusion right now, and I'm actually totally changing my view of how to of what content is. Like I'm a Cutie Pie. Yeah, and I'm a Cutie Pie literally built his success on this concept. He's one of the examples, but there are others too. Co-Carnage, for example, is another one. Lyric is another one, right? There's a lot of people that have like built their success on this time frame. So this is a very interesting concept, right? I've talked about this a little bit before on stream, that like you can sort of like win at life just by being consistent and just doing the right time frame. So here's a really interesting concept. There's a video that I made called "Your Favorite Streamer Sucks," and in a couple of days there'll be a video coming out that says your favorite streamers don't suck. And I think the reason is because I've totally changed my mind on what good content is. What I previously thought was that like, and I was talking about this a little bit like yesterday, and this is important leading into my other concept, like Greek God X and like Trainer stuff, like this is like legitimately trash content in my opinion. But then I started to realize that because I thought that the viewers that watch that kind of stuff were also like garbage and like Raj Patel and like all this stuff. Then I realized that actually that's good content in a different way, and that viewers aren't like segregated to like communities. Like they'll just watch what they feel like watching emotionally at that time. Maybe you're there to be entertained for a bit. Maybe you're there to be informed. Maybe a combination of both. But you'll watch different personalities as time goes on, and that's totally fine. And I totally changed my mind on content. Okay, but simultaneously, Nerd Fusion is running all these tests, and we're trying to answer the question: what causes streams below 25 viewers to grow? So, like, is it possible to start a stream today and then to grow to the point where you're like successful and like you can make like full-time income? And the answer is kinda, but kinda is different from completely impossible. So what I used to think was, if you are a 25 viewer streamer, it is impossible to grow. Like literally impossible. There is no way. Now what I think is it's possible, but oh man, this is going to be a hot take too. The difference is if you are below 50 viewers and you've been streaming longer than like, actually, and I'm going to even say this, I'm going to go even further than this, and this is myself included. If you are below 200 viewers and you're not growing, like you can go to your social blade and you're not getting follows. What I used to say was that was a problem with Twitch discovery, and I blamed the platform. But when we have pulled all the numbers, none of that appears to be the case, and it appears that good content is still getting discovered, which can only mean one thing. If you are below 200 viewers and you are not growing, your content is actually shit. And that's a really, really tough pill to swallow. So what it should do is it's going to empower people. Probably what it's going to do is make people quit. But what you should do is you have to realize, okay, I have to keep testing and pivoting my content until I find like the product market fit. And the truth of the matter is, very few people, unless you're fucking incredible, can get away with playing games in this day and age. I guess the thing that I was looking for was like, what is the thing that I do on Twitch that no one else does? That not a single other streamer does? That's a really fucking hard question because there's 3.2 million active broadcasters on Twitch every single month. So what do I do that fucking no one does? And then I'm like, And then I'm like, okay, I got it. And then I have that. And I actually do a thing on the stream that nobody else does on Twitch. And that's cool, right? That resonates with some people. You have to find that. Maybe all you do is you play meme games, right? Like, that's like a great thing. And like, you don't have to be the only person, but you have to be in a small group of people. One thing to understand about influencers, and I cannot stress this enough, I have a real big problem with overnight success. There is no such thing. Ready for my hot take? I just gave it actually, but here it is, Twitch chat. There is no such thing as overnight success. None. Zero. You can't name a single person. You can't do it. There is no such thing as overnight success. Even people who seem like they got there very fast had predecessors like fathers or people that had set them up for it for years and years and years of work. If you look at Ninja, and you go to his YouTube, one of the most interesting things about Ninja is sort by oldest. 7 years ago, first video of many, right? And now this guy has views because people went back and literally watched his videos from 7 years ago. Absolutely nobody cared about this guy until he put on the mask. Like, nobody. He was making consistent videos. He was trying out content. He was testing and retesting stuff. He was working very hard all throughout that time, staying consistent until he actually got to that point. For overnight success is like a huge meme. Every single time that I look in, like, I think that someone has overnight success, and I constantly do it. I'm like, okay, this person has overnight success. I go in and I see the years of work that was put into it, and I'm like, fuck, okay. Yeah, Ninja's success is predicated on a lot of practice and getting his content right. It's like another one that I really like to bring out is Dr. Disrespect, right? This is a person who took like a really long time to build his character. If you go onto his YouTube channel, I wonder if he has like the most weirdest shit videos in his oldest videos. They're so weird. Oh my God, they're so weird. Like, he has these like Dr. Disrespect films. They're just fucking bizarre. Like, if you're waiting for it to make sense, it's never gonna make sense. It's completely bizarre. All of it. And there's these, like, weird cuts and shit. So, like, this was, like, him testing and retesting stuff. And, like, I wish we could see, I wish there was, like, a time capsule thing. These videos literally had, like, 4 views. Like, everybody was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, it was like, weird stuff. And all these views that he's gained from like 9 years ago are all things that like people went back to see after he got popular. So like this kind of stuff, like that's 9 years ago. That's a long ass time. Like 9 years ago, I don't even remember who I was. Fuck. Like that's a long ass time ago. This guy's making content for 9 years, right? Never really blew up. This guy literally didn't blow up until he put on the mask. Actually, like, right? But he still had the theme. He still had the character 9 years ago. Like, you could still see like the actual character. And he built this guy for 9 years. There he is. And the thing was, like, when this was actually filmed, this was just really weird. I think now it could be memed, but this was like really weird 9 years ago. It's almost as if Dr. Disrespect actually went full circle. I think I figured this guy out. Like, he was too weird for his time, and then he went all the way around, and then he came into a culture that accepted him. I don't know how to explain that. It's crazy.
Thanks, Dr. Disrespect.
You're welcome.